To support the show, visit us at patreon.com/retroam. Get early access, bonus episodes, and access to our growing collection of premium podcasts, where we cover other JRPGs like Terranigma, Parasite Eve, and Star Ocean.
Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
Yesterday I had my special boy day after we recorded.
Yes, no kids, no wife. What'd you do?
No kids. I watched 13 episodes of Gundam Double Zeta.
Shit.
The worst Gundam.
Uh-huh.
But I watched it nonetheless. Editorial note, Gundam Double Zeta is very good. At this point in time, I had not gotten past the silly and weird stuff that inhabits the first 15 episodes or so. Just after that, the series shifts tonally and becomes something very special and some of the best Universal Century content out there. So do not take my recommendation from the past. Take it now. Watch Double Zeta if you like Gundam. Anyway, I'm sending you back to the actual podcast now. Sorry for the long intro.
Were you like half watching it with the telephone out, reading the social media, or were you tuned in?
That's a problem when you watch subtitled anime, is that you need to focus. You have to focus, and Gundam Double Zeta does not have a dub because it's
Double Zeta.
Double Zeta.
I'm the first one to ever think of that, probably.
The intro to that, like the in the traditional anime intro way, comes on. The first lyric is not an anime, it's real. Like, that's what the singer says, which is funny, hilarious, and ironic because Gundam Double Zeta, or Double Zeta Gundam, or whatever it's called, is the first Gundam to begin to act like an anime. Like, there's, they've added, horniness and goofy jokes and things of that nature. It's becoming more anime, whereas, Mobile Suit Gundam and Zeta Gundam are closer to something like, Star Trek The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine, where it's it's a space opera. There's a lot of serious chatting on ships and military maneuvers and stuff, and not a ton of comedic relief.
I watched Deep Space Nine yesterday.
Yeah, there are some similarities. I've been listening to the Great Gundam Project and from Abnormal Mapping, and there is a character in Gundam Double Zeta who functions as a guy with a romantic dream to be a sorceress's knight, which they call out because he is obsessed with the leader of the bad guys in a weird, non-sexual but romantic way. Like, he wants to serve her.
What is the creation of art if not an assemblage of all your influences and things you like jam-packed into one brand new work?
Gundam is the source of everything. As you'll be watching Gundam, like, oh, okay, so Gundam invented
Gundam in the Bible.
That. Yes. So, anyway.
Heaven and hell.
We should start the podcast now. Would you like to hear some hot sounds that I've recorded?
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast where we discuss classic JRPGs chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome to Season 3, Disc 2 of Final Fantasy VIII. My name is Chris. I'm joined by Eric. Hey.
What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up? We are also joined by the RealNet, a collective of patrons who are listening to us record live. You too can join us. Just go to patreon.com/retroam. Join the RealNet. Go on Discord. Listen to bonus episodes, whatever you want. Or don't.
We're also joined by the Fake Net, our post-production AI companion, who, for some reason, is speaking like a Banjo-Kazooie character in, cut-up bits of dialogue to fit into a Nintendo 64 cart.
Oh.
Initializing fake net.
Fake net, can you translate, can you subtitle whatever it is she's saying this episode, please?
Sure, boys. She said, Libera te tu de me ex inferis, which is Latin for save yourself from hell.
Wow, thanks. Speaking of, origins of familiar tropes, did Banjo-Kazooie invent Animal Crossing speak?
Fake net.
Initializing fake net. Baba.
She said, I don't know who invented gibberish. You idiots, please make this stop. Please help me or kill me.
Because I seem to think it does. It did.
I think it did too, because it was digitized. Well, I don't know. Star Fox, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Star Fox is more gibberish applied to dialogue as opposed to just repeating half-second blips.
Aren't there specific sounds assigned to each letter?
In Animal Crossing, yeah. I've heard if you slow down Animal Crossing dialogue, they actually say the real, like it sounds intelligible. It's just sped up like Alvin and the Chipmunk shit when they say it in the game.
Oh, gotcha.
But I've never attempted to do that.
They secretly did that in Mario Maker. Like there's a weird sound effect when you place a Goomba that goes wah, wah, but if you slow it down and listen to it closely, it says Goomba, like for everything you put down. It's kind of amazing.
That's upsetting.
It's great. Anyway, we're on to
Floor 7.
Let's break out of the fucking prison, Eric.
Let's do it.
What's your favorite Prison Break media? Is it Prison Break?
I've never seen Prison Break.
It's not very good. People like it though.
The Prisoner, I've heard that's good. Is he in prison in that?
I've never seen
The
The Prisoner.
70s show. Idle Thumbs referenced it a lot.
I think everybody's go-to is Shawshank.
Yeah, I mean, it's like a cliche at this point.
But I don't think it's there's probably something better out there.
I would need time to think about that. Ask me next episode.
No, the correct answer is D-Block.
Oh, well, yeah, video games, absolutely. I was thinking about all of media.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, D-Block, exactly.
What's the Cool Hand Luke? Does he bust out in that?
I guess. Looks handsome, at least.
So you want to talk about Final Fantasy VIII now?
Okay, yeah, we just killed Biggs and Wedge. We didn't kill them, but...
We killed them, but they didn't die from it.
No, exactly. And after the battle, they're laid out, and as we exit, Biggs had just said, "Don't think you can just walk out." Then he presses a button on something.
We did.
And something happens. As we exit the cell...
Hold on, Chris, did you use magic in that Biggs and Wedge battle?
Yeah,
I did too.
Yeah, more on that in a second.
We weren't supposed to.
No. As we exit the cell, Zell says that Squall should be around here somewhere. Our little buddy, our Moomba friend, doesn't seem to know where he is either, so...
There's no music playing for some reason.
Yep.
This prison has 4 guards, and we have killed them all.
Yes, they're dead.
The Moomba doesn't know where Squall is, but this one runs down the stairs and squeaks and then screams the name, Laguna. My Moomba says Laguna's name too, and they both run off upstairs. You know what that means? You're supposed to go upstairs, Chris.
Oh, that didn't happen for me.
Really?
Yeah, I think this has to do with the Squall sequence.
Yeah. Chris and I have had a diverging experience here. More on that later with a certain scene too.
Yeah.
Zell then says, "I don't know why, but I feel kind of lucky." Zell resolves to go after them, but then an alarm sounds. An overhead intercom is heard. Warning, escapee alert. Monsters will be set loose on each floor. The escapee refuses to surrender. You have permission to kill. The anti-magic field will be lifted.
Yes, we just used magic.
Mm-hmm.
So
it was all bullshit.
It would have been a fun test of your junctioning ability if they did not allow you to use magic.
Yeah,
but
just boost yourself up.
Use junction magic, yeah.
Zell can't believe this shit. And then music, Never Look Back plays. This is our escape music once again. Did you get any of this?
I got the alarm and the release of monsters for security, which seems like maybe not an efficient way to do it, but we've seen how weak the soldiers are.
Yeah, also monsters, you don't got to pay them.
Yeah, true.
Just breed them.
And several of these monsters are just like robots. So maybe they should have changed that to, attack mechas or whatever. But speaking of that, as Never Look Back plays, we can start running around the
we have access
drill.
to 12 floors.
Yeah, it's great.
Where'd you go, up or down?
I went up.
Damn.
You went down?
Of course. I want to see what's at the bottom.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I had a choice. Yeah, I went straight all the way to the top.
It's hard to navigate at first because you have to walk 359 degrees around the opposite side to reach the other staircase.
Yeah, it's
which is a pain in the ass.
It's a little annoying. Along the way, I ran into an enemy called the GIM-47N. It's an occult boxing mecha. It's the one with the weird face.
Yeah, I shot him last time.
Yeah. I scanned him and found out all of his lore. Would you like to hear it?
Yeah.
An older type of Galbadian support weapon, has a laser cannon, but mostly punches using the steel orbs on both hands. Most important thing about this guy is that you could draw life from this thing if you haven't previously stocked up life spells.
He has orbs. Does he have snakes?
He doesn't have snakes, but maybe more on that later.
Initializing fake net.
Who?
Oh Lord, she said this is what it sounds like when it comes out. And when it dies.
I found absolutely nothing on floor 7, so I headed up to floor 8.
What's up there?
Well, I ran into, I think you mentioned this last time, but I ran into a purple sleek mecha with a wing and 6 eyes
Yeah.
called the GIM-52A. I did scan this fella. It's an Galbadian machine that attacks with magic and missiles. The more advanced models use high-powered beams. This guy's got haste. I love haste.
You find anything else on floor 8?
Nope. Floor 8 is identical to floor 7. Inside the identical cell that we were staying in, there's a man wearing a green camouflage jacket and a yellow
So you did
headband.
find something on floor 8?
Yes.
Cool.
Just hadn't turned the page yet in my notes.
Chris, this is Joker.
Joker?
He's a member of the card collecting club in Bellam Garden. We'll get to him later.
Oh,
He also
interesting.
sells items. He appears in the training centers at some points, like, hey, you want to buy some shit?
Yeah, he says that he knows us for some reason. He's like, hey,
We've talked to him before.
how do I know? Want to tell you the truth? I'm also a Bellam Garden student. Oh,
Yeah.
but I can't give you any info right now. I'm working for Galbadia right now. I'm not supposed to do this, but I wanted to see you all with my own eyes. And then he's got an item shop.
It's Norris.
Thanks, Norris. So I head up. Do you want to head down while I head
We're
up?
going to go ahead and finish going up, and then we'll talk about what's down.
Okay. So I head up to floor 9, and I'm able to access the cell on the far side of the floor, whereas before some of these doors are locked. You can't go in, even though the map's identical.
There's 3 basic doors, but
Yeah.
only one of them's usually open.
Yeah. And I found a berserk draw point in there.
I already have 100 of those for everybody, Chris. I don't
That's it.
require any more berserks.
Oh, well, sorry. Up on floor 10, I headed around the circle again, and everything is still a goddamn same. In the cell on the far end, there's a guy sitting there. He asks if we have a battle meter.
Mm-hmm.
The hell's a battle meter? I know Sid gave it to us, but I never checked into it.
Sig?
Sid, I said.
Oh, I thought you said Sigurd.
Sigurd. No, Sid. Headmaster Sid gave us the battle meter after we passed the seed test, but
I don't
I've
know.
not-
All I know is I asked the Trep groupies about how many battles I've won.
Yeah, so I don't know if maybe the battle meter has something to do with that. I looked
Oh, I know.
through
A fake net. What's the battle meter do?
yeah.
Initializing fake net.
Ugh.
She said it keeps track of battle stats, you dummies, and the upgrade you just received keeps track of character kills and KOs.
I think we may have already asked to fake net that in a previous episode.
I know, but we're dumb boys and we forgot.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew this information last week too. I also forgot it in the present and didn't write it down. If you don't write it down, it never happened.
Yeah, so he asked if we have one. Then he asked if we're a mercenary or something. He says that if we win this game, he doesn't name the game, but I'm assuming it's Triple Triad.
Of course.
He'll add something special to that thing for us.
It's 300 gil per game.
Yes.
Did you play him?
I did. I'm going to play
Fuck
Triple
it,
Triad.
let's go.
Yes, I better not lose because there's not a save point around here, and I haven't saved in a long time.
I know.
I lost my cipher card
Are you serious?
due to a same/plus combo because my rules are same plus.
You've messed your rules up, dude.
Yeah, but luckily I won it back next round, so thanks. Got it
Okay,
back.
great. It is cool that they retain it and your cards just don't disappear into the ether.
Yeah. I then upgraded my battle meter, and I still don't know what the battle meter is.
Chris, I love the idea of playing cards during a daring prison escape.
It's wonderful.
Did you find anything on floor 11?
Well, also on here on floor 10, I found a save point, which I could have used before. But,
Congratulations.
yes, floor 11, there's nothing here but a guy in a cell who wants to play some Triple Triad.
200 gil per match.
Yeah, I beat him and he got a potion. I beat him again, then he gave me a remedy.
If you do some RNG manipulation here, you can grind out Rosetta Stones from this guy, which one of those things will allow your GF to learn the ability X4, so you can have 4 different things junctioned
Oh,
to the
cool.
ability.
That's interesting. I thought the Rosetta Stones were the things that the Billy and Jimmy Lee were collecting in Double Dragon 3, God Bless the Ring.
I didn't play Double Dragon 3. It wasn't required in my podcast.
Yeah, it's not very good. Nothing on 12.
When I went to 12, I had 2 Moombas rushing up it.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Now
yeah.
you want to go back down your street in a Range Rover?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so let's assume we went down from the first floor. That would put us down at floor 6.
Yes.
There's a save point here, Chris. I love that shit.
Damn.
On floor 5, there is a guy who doesn't want to make an escape because he doesn't want to die. But he will play you in cards for 500 gil per card game. I do this. I beat him instantly and get a Shumi Tribe card that I do not yet have. He also has a 1 in 64 chance of giving you a luck up if you beat him. And you can only do this once. Chris, I got it.
Cool.
I got those Nintendo 64 odds.
Nice.
I also fought some Thrustivises a Wendigo. I fought some Galbadian soldiers who said, "Seeds, you ain't getting in the way." And then on floor 4, I found a tent. Floor 3 had a pet house. Floor 2 had a pet name tag. And I got the Combat King 001 by mashing X on the ground in an empty cell by where the box should be.
What's the Combat King 001?
Teaches Zell some new dual moves.
So I missed this forever.
You did. I don't know about forever. I mean, as I remember it, 8 is actually pretty good about like gathering lost materials at strange places on disc 4, or at least that's with cards. I don't know about
That sucks.
I don't know. Hey, fake net, did Chris miss that forever?
Initializing fake net.
Pud. Dude. Pud.
She said yes, there's a bookstore that sells Combat Kings later, but telling you the city would be a spoiler.
I did have to go down here later, though.
Yeah, the Final Fantasy VIII, in order to reuse as much of its architecture as possible, sends you up and down these things several times.
Yes, even though it's the same map over and over again.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we're on to floor 13.
Yes, the luckiest floor ever.
It looks much different. It looks like it has an escape hatch to a cell dungeon. Moving to the right, for me, reveals 6 Moombas jumping up and down and shouting the name Laguna at a closed door.
Yeah, this is the first time I got the Laguna stuff.
Okay.
So this is where I learned that there's a connection between Moombas and Laguna.
So you still haven't seen the scene of them rescuing Squall, basically, in your game?
No, because I'm rescuing Squall right now.
Shit.
Yeah, so it's different. Do you want to go through yours and then I'll go through mine?
Well, I go in this torture room, which we're familiar with already, and music, The Oath, plays once and then it stops. Squall is standing up against the back of the torture crucifix. 3 Moombas are in here too, and the rest of our heroes rush up and ask Squall if he's okay. You can reply, "It was hell." Zell says something smart, which is, "Let's just get the hell out of here."
Yeah.
LOL, I hope they leave Irvine, because I still don't, they're not even looking for him.
Yeah, that's true. They actually animate Zell tossing Squall's gunblade back to him.
Yes, Zell throws Squall his sword, and Squall catches it and immediately swipes it at an inch from Zell's face, which is a power move, I think.
Yeah. And this is the moment in which the Moombas start chanting Laguna.
So you got all this?
Yeah,
Okay.
I did get all this, yeah. Squall can't believe this shit, by the way, because this is our first time here. This is in my game, this is his first time hearing it. I then can ask the guy to make a shortcut. Did you get the shortcut thing?
Yes, what you can do is you can dispatch the Moombas to different levels, and they will take down those barriers that prevent you from having to walk all the way around to get to those stairs.
Okay, I did notice there were some barriers
Yeah.
later. Okay, I get it.
That will essentially give you a shortcut once.
One floor. Okay, so I'll
go
put it
back
on
down.
floor 10. So this is a choice I must make. I don't know why I'm making this choice. I made it. Floor 10 achieved.
Question for you, Chris. Will the whole rescuing Squall from torture plot change Squall's relationship with his friends? Can he be more of a human being now?
Oh,
Will this adjust his attitude?
I don't think he's going to be less guarded because as we've previously discussed, like Squall can't, whatever's inside Squall's head, he can't take on more. He doesn't want to deal with anybody else's problems.
Right, but will this expand his tolerance?
It may expand his tolerance on the outside, but I still don't think he's ready to let anybody in.
Will he be less of an asshole to Zell?
I think yes.
Okay.
I think yes, but I'm not 100% certain yet.
Chris, when you send those Moombas off to the floors, they hop with joy.
Yeah, they're happy.
Selfie asks Squall if he's all right, and he doesn't respond. It fades to black, so that answers the question about has his attitude been adjusted. On screen, did you get the thinking text?
Go ahead.
It says, Laguna.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then there's a loud clanging noise. And Zell is asking Squall if he came down here as Laguna in the dream world. Squall's like, hell no, I didn't. And Kistis interprets this to mean Squall doesn't know how to get out of this place either because Zell's not really functioning here.
Yeah.
Zell suggests going up, and it doesn't work, and then he says they need to go down. And I wanted to tell him, dude, I've already been to the last level.
Yeah.
I've been down there. But if Final Fantasy VIII makes the player go through more loops of this identical shit again, I'm going to scream. After we've had the Brothers dungeon was mirrored content over and over. Weren't we in sewers that was mirrored content over and over?
Yes.
They're drawing it out, man.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, is the Identa dungeon a trope? This is the third one for these in this game.
Is it a trope that lasted outside of
Square games? Is this like an RPG?
Game?
It was in Parasite Eve with the sewers, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And maybe it is. Because the sample size is relatively limited if we're going to limit that to pre-rendered backgrounds. We don't have a ton of those, but hard to say. I don't remember that really happening in Final Fantasy VII, but things were a little bit different in Final Fantasy VII because you had very small characters on large maps.
Well, there's a sequence with Cloud. I almost call him Squall. Cloud in the north when he had to put poles in that blizzard to try. Remember that shit?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that immediately comes to mind.
Solaris.
The Solaris tunnels.
The Solaris tunnels and the Ethos dig site.
Oh yeah,
in Xenogears.
Well, in Final Fantasy VIII, Kistis correctly says it would be a pain to go down every single floor. He says the alarm alerted monsters and security guards everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
We're just mowing through the monsters. I don't know why they care.
Yeah.
Zell chooses now to ask Squall how they carried him up here. Squall points upward, and the camera shifts to reveal, I don't know, a conveyor belt robot contraption? What the hell are we looking at here, Chris?
It's it's the arm that pulls out those detachable cell things.
Okay. That's it. I Object permanence does not exist for me.
Yeah, Selfie realizes that, like, I don't know why she says this, but she says that we can jump all the way down this shaft.
Mm-hmm.
But Kista says that this will squish her like a pancake, which is a great dialogue exchange that we really needed to flesh this out. Yeah, great.
Squall points to the crane and says, they have these for the worker bees in Solaris, don't they?
Yes, they do. Zell suddenly remembers that we can move this arm by using the panel above in the control room. I guess that's from his ward knowledge.
Yes, he says he remembers Ward doing that, but we need to operate them both at the same time. Someone needs to stay upstairs and control the panel.
Oh, a convenient way to split this party up.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really understand what the hell he's talking about here, but whatever.
Yeah, I love this next moment because they're trying to figure out who is going to be the one to stay behind, and Selfie and Kistis both slowly walk towards Zell and just put their hand on his shoulder like, it's you, bud. And he can't believe this shit. But he says he'll give us instructions once we get inside.
Yeah, he accepts his fate.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Mm-hmm.
Then we're in a control room.
Yeah, we're inside the pod. It's full of LED maps and wires and pipes. It kind of looks like a Gundam cockpit a little bit. Speaking of Gundam.
I put a desk from Existence with a middle with a monitor up top and a Tron interface off to the left.
Yeah, that works too.
Kistis says we're in the arm control room. Thank you, Kistis.
Yep.
Zell then buzzes in and asks if we can hear him. Selfie jumps for joy and confirms he's loud and clear. Zell says to press the red button on the main panel. And then there's a noise grinding, and Squall does that, and it moves down. Chris, so Zell knows all this. Is Ward not really a janitor? Is Ward doing bad prison guard shit?
I hope so. I hope Ward's up to shit. I hope he's out here doing, causing problems.
Okay, so he's doing good guy shit in a bad guy place.
I hope so.
He's not doing bad guy shit in a bad guy place.
Oh, so you're
like, is Zell covering for him, saying, yeah, no, he was a janitor. That's how he knows how to operate the solitary confinement cells.
Interesting. Maybe. So we get some elevator noises, and then we're at the bottom, right?
Yes.
Yes. Squall notices a door and suggests we go check it out. So were you able to come all the way down here when you went down the floors?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So then we're in the dust chute, Faye. Squall goes to check the door and it busts open.
Yeah, sand explodes out of the far end.
Yeah. We finally determined that we're underground.
Yeah, Kistis points that out.
Yeah,
I don't really understand where we are because I forgot it was a drill at this point.
Yeah.
The gang then hears gunfire.
Yeah, and they're like, oh, it's gunfire. That's weird. And then all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, we left Zell back there. They're probably trying to shoot Zell.
Shit.
Suddenly we're Zell.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just fire. There's no pain screams, right?
Yeah.
So he's doing all right. Everyone resolves to get back quick. How do we do that? Why the fuck are we down here? Was this localized correctly? I haven't slept in 20 hours, but come on, man.
This is fucked up. Yeah, suddenly we're Zell.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, running from soldiers.
Only a plank between one and perdition plays.
Starring Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks was in that. Jude Law.
Yeah, Road to Perdition. Yeah. Oh, so as Zell's running around the corner, there are blue soldiers chasing him, and they are running at a speed, I think, faster than Zell's run speed.
Yeah.
And when they catch you, you do a random battle, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's just you. You're by yourself.
I took all my GFs off Zell because I have a different party, but unfortunately, the soldier is very weak. And you can just take him out.
Zell beats the holy screaming crap out of him.
Yep. On the next screen, though, it's the warden.
He's here.
The cop. He gets Zell at gunpoint, and Zell's life flashes before him, but suddenly...
Zell's on his knees.
Yeah. He forgot again he could use his fist, but suddenly Squall Zantetsukins into the scene and slices the ward.
Oh, I put slices the warden's head clean off.
Oh, I put slices the warden all anime-like.
Yeah, this entrance by Squall is reused at least one more time in this game. He does it much later. I think it's a reused animation, but it is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah. This is playing with the thing that does happen in anime, and actually this happens in all types of kind of action media now, where the good guy or the badass guy shows up at the last second to save somebody from...
And does a hero pose while he does it.
Dire need. Yes, exactly.
He then stands over Zell and says, didn't think he'd go down that easy.
Mm-hmm.
Zell then runs up to Squall, surprised and thankful as hell. On his knees, he grabs Squall's waist and offers gratitude. Zell shakes Squall violently as Squall says, what? This can go on forever if you let it. You just set the controller down and he'll just keep shaking him. Squall then screams at Zell to let go and even slashes his gun blade at him a few times. My man does not like physical affection.
No, absolutely not. Then,
the gang all comes downstairs.
Yeah, Sylvie asks Squall why Squall went so hard after Zell. Is he that important to him?
Yeah, Sylvie cuts at Squall's soul on this. She wants to make him have a feeling.
Yeah. Fellas, is it gay to save your friends from dire bear? Like, I feel like she's implying something that like it's supposed to be a dig, but really it's just weird.
I don't really. I mean, I think she's actually. It is a dig, but I think everyone's submission is trying to make Squall into a person.
Yeah, that is true. Good point.
Both our big boys do the anime head scratch thing.
There is a certain level of goofiness to this scene and the whole prison sequence in general, but this scene here
Being in jail is hilarious.
This is weird. This is the weirdest part of the whole game, I think. Suddenly, gunfire. It comes again.
Squall doesn't have to show emotion. He's saved by gunfire.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Gunfire. Gunfire calls us the entire gang to hit the deck.
But then some louder gunshots pop off, and the music stops as the screen fills with pain yells like ARG and UG.
ARG. Just when it appears all is lost, our favorite cowboy
This is a good entrance, man.
begins sniping the off-screen snipers.
It's a black screen, and then at an isometric angle and by himself is Irvine. He tilts his cap after he fires another shot. Immediately afterward, he walks down the stairs, hand still on his stupid hat, making his grand entrance. Then Renoa appears and kicks him down the stairs. She says, "Stop trying to act so cool. Gee, if only you had agreed with me earlier, we wouldn't be in this mess." Squall takes a step forward, showing off for his crush. Renoa screams his name in surprise, and Irvine is still laid out on the cold metal floor. Renoa crouches down to herself and thinks, "Squall's alive. I knew he would be. Squall's okay." Chris, you knew he would be. This took like 6 Moombas with amnesia to pull off.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
Renoa then screams, "Yeah," and continues to walk down the stairs. And then new music plays, not new, but different music. My Mind.
Yes. This is one of those songs that has the same melody as the Eyes on Me. And this is a song that plays during Squall and Renoa moments.
Okay.
I think we heard it on the train and maybe another.
Yeah,
other
I
time
think
as well.
it's the 3rd or 4th time it's played.
Yeah.
Kistis, of all people, calls out Renoa and Squall as Renoa and Squall lock eyes, saying, "Renoa, you're all right." Irvine stands up to take credit, courtesy of my escort. Zell's like, "What the hell is that supposed to mean?" And as Irvine tries to respond, Renoa says her father pulled some strings with the military.
My dad knows a cop.
So like, what? We didn't have to do any of this breakout shit?
No, we could have just waited.
He told them to get me, only me, out. And I knew fucking Fury Caraway was a fucking hack, Chris.
Yeah, he is a hack.
Like that revealed himself to me right there. He this was his operation. We volunteered, and he only went to rescue his daughter.
Yeah, I knew he was a hack once I found out that he was DMing sad girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
DMing sad girls.
Was Julia sad when Laguna didn't come back, or
most likely?
Yeah,
I don't know about heartbroken, but like a fling that maybe was not supposed to be.
Yeah.
Renoa puts her hands on her forehead, saying, "So this guy here, he came and got me, just me, knowing you all were captured." Chris, Irvine, who by the way didn't get arrested, also had no intention of rescuing us. Fuck Irvine.
Wait, Irvine didn't get arrested?
No, I mean, like, Caraway contacted Irvine to go get Renoa out of here.
Oh, I read it differently.
I mean, that could be. That's just the way I interpreted the language.
Oh, okay. I read it as if Irvine was also captured, and
this guy here, he came and got me, just me, knowing you all were captured.
So she said this guy.
Yeah, pointing to Irvine.
Oh. I assumed that maybe just some guy came and got Renoa, and then she got Irvine along the way, maybe. What does make sense that maybe Irvine somehow, even though he was one of the people that was fighting the sorceress and tried to shoot her, he is a Galbadian.
Yeah, he's a Galbadian.
Yeah.
He still has an allegiance. So, like, my dude was just fine with leaving everyone here and taking Renoa for himself because he's also horny, right?
Yes.
Also, I was looking through the wiki on the prison, for the fandom wiki, and there is a scene that I couldn't find in the game, and I couldn't find in Let's Plays, and I couldn't research. It was just one screen. But it was in, Renoa was forcing Irvine to turn back to the prison when they're both in Dingo Desert in and out of a car.
Oh, really?
Like, what the hell is that?
Huh.
So that all points to my dude tried to leave.
Oh, huh.
I'm not putting him in my party anymore.
Fucking Irvine. I didn't read him that way, but I think you're totally right.
As Irvine tries to explain, Renoa leans over and says, "Isn't that horrible?" She's pouring salt on him right now, watching him melt.
Yeah.
Irvine begs for mercy, delivering a 2/3 McConaughey, all right. I said I was sorry. Renoa says Irvine only wanted to help after she scratched him to death. She had to assault him, Chris.
Yeah.
Irvine no-sells that, stutters, and says now's their chance. Squall says the basement door is buried in the sand, and I think Squall should bury Irvine in it.
Do you think that Irvine is only agreeing to help just because he cannot handle the embarrassment anymore?
I think so, yeah. I mean, you look at that grand entrance he tried to make to like maintain his level of cool with his team.
Yeah.
And then Renoa just extinguished it by kicking his ass down the stairs.
Yeah.
That's what he deserved. That's what he gets.
Awesome.
Irvine tells us this place is buried underground.
Thanks.
As he tries to explain something we already know, there they are. It's the escapees appears out of the bottom of the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Irvine takes out his gun and starts blasting. As music, only a plank between one and perdition.
I love planks between one and perdition.
Just one resumes. He tells us to select 2 more party members and head up. Squall questions that advice, but Irvine keeps blasting and says he doesn't have time to explain now. Bullets are visibly pinging off the pre-rendered backgrounds.
Yeah. Squall says never trust a cowboy. I don't trust cowboys. Should Squall? No, but he does. I choose Zell, but I have to take Renoa as well, right?
Yeah, Renoa says she knows the way, but I trust neither one of these people.
No, of course not. Although Renoa seems like, of anybody that Squall has encountered since this entire sequence started, Renoa seems to be the one getting results, I think.
Kistis would if she was enabled properly. If Kistis had her fist instead of her whip, she would have done this much more efficiently.
That's true.
I mean, Zell has fucked up everything, kind of. He got the weapons back, but he didn't do that like claw, pointless party separation prison cell thing, right?
Yeah. Irvine says that it's his turn to boogie now.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Richard.
Sure.
And then he breaks for cover and fires a shot.
Yeah. So I do some running with my team.
We're deposited on floor 9.
Fight some bad guys. After some more running, it cuts back to the other team still under visible gunfire.
Yeah.
Irvine is blasting away. Still.
It's funny, I went downstairs first because I took a 3-day break, and Renoa says, no, man, we got to go upstairs. Others are taking care of downstairs.
Yeah. Kistis was the one that I left with Irvine. Kistis and Selfie. And Kistis asked what we should do. But then she gets an idea. She wonders if we can go up again with the arm that we left in the basement. The conveyor belt arm or whatever, the prison cell arm grabber thing. And now we've got to play as this team.
I have Selfie and Zell during this.
Any other difference in the dialogue?
I mean, this whole shit is a disaster and it's poorly coordinated, but I suppose jailbreaks aren't always the easiest thing to do.
It is. And this game, so first of all, it's cool that the game makes you have 2 parties. I love when games do this. Yeah. But we've been trained this whole time to basically manage 3 sets of equipment, right?
Yeah.
So did you do the thing where I
just keep switching
the junction, which that is kind of awkward. And that's kind of
if you map people 1-to-1, you can just, it's not,
I do that
your
too.
Shit won't be dialed in, but you can do basic, you can just make sure all your GFs are equipped and the magic is good enough with junctions.
Yeah, and that's what I do as well, but it does feel a little bit awkward. Like it makes me wish that there was some additional kind of uniqueness to each of the characters in addition to their limit breaks. It cuts back and forth so much that it's kind of
I wish they'd cut back and forth in the latter half of the game as opposed to the first half when everyone had like an established role and identity. But I guess they're trying to make you use a lot of people in the beginning of the game.
Yeah.
So we're now Irvine, Selfie, and Zell for me. Music, that's right, Chris. Only a plank between one and perdition resumes. After all that gunfire. We got to switch all of our shit. My next note is I have to go down with all these guys. Who's going up? Who's going down? This dungeon sucks, man.
Yeah.
I get to floor 4, I think, and Irvine yells, hey, hop on a black screen. Shit, now we're squalling, friend, so let's switch all the GFs back after exactly 1 battle.
Yeah, not great. The little Moomba buddy's there, too.
Hell yeah.
I talked to him, and he gave me a cottage.
That's nice. Mine said yee thaw.
Oh.
The other says Laguna, head, confuse, run, and gave me a rename card.
Oh, I missed the rename card. I love rename cards.
You love it? They let you rename your Guardian Force, right?
I don't have any idea, but...
Fake net, what does that do?
Initializing fake net.
The rename card allows the player to rename a Guardian Force.
The Guardian Forces and Squall are the only ones that you can name. Actually, you can name Renoa as well.
I think you can name everybody, can't you?
I don't think you can name Zell. I think it's only Squall and Renoa.
Okay.
Which I don't know why they did that. But it reminds me of in Final Fantasy VI, like my master playthrough, my best playthrough, all the characters had really dumb names because I was 13 or whatever, and the one that I remember the most was that Edgar was named Corn for some reason.
With a K?
No, just Corn. I don't know why.
His brother was named Maze.
Yeah, MASH. I wanted my best playthrough to have the actual character names in there, so I spent a lot of time grinding rename cards from the Coliseum in Final Fantasy VI, which was not easy to do until I got my entire party named back to their default names, which was just something I did to pass the time back then.
Yeah, you had to make that one game last a long time usually.
Yeah, I guess after you've got an economizer for every character and a Genji glove for every character, what can you do next except for rename them all?
Chris has played a lot of Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah,
I've played it once.
Yeah.
We're back in the torture room, where I noticed it literally says torture room in yellow paint on the ground.
Yeah, I noticed that as well.
I go up the stairs, which brings us to a central control panel area with a bunch of computers running MS-DOS.
Yeah, there's also like a generator or incubator looking thing there.
Some electronic equipment for torturing. Maybe it's the generator for the torture electricity. None of this shit does anything, so I go up more stairs. This brings us to another weird room. All these places have the Galbadian crest on the floor. This place is full of machinery I can't identify. It could be used for castration or making breakfast. I'm not really sure.
Who knows?
Either way, I leave through the south door. Now we're outside.
Yeah.
It looks like the Sand Sea from Final Fantasy XII out here. Kistis takes it all in, then decides this time we're really out. But then alarms go off. A voice says the prisoners are outside.
In my case, Zell screams, "Yeah, we're out, baby."
That's nice.
Yeah.
He's really excited. Force Your Way plays.
Yeah, it's a boss battle against regular enemies.
One Red Elite Galbadian soldier in the GIM 52A. The soldier tells us we aren't going anywhere, but I kill him.
Yes.
And his robot.
These robots are actually not pushovers because they do a move called micro missiles.
Yes, Kistis can learn that.
Oh, cool. And they do a pretty considerable amount of damage to the whole party when they're coming pretty frequently.
Then there's a noise. It's Irvine on the intercom this time, and he asks Squall if we can hear him. We turn around and go back in the room we just left rather than doing the sensible thing and making a break to escape and leaving Irvine to rot in jail.
Yeah, that's true. Also, we've got to reuse that computer room background that we've been through once.
Yeah, once. Irvine's like, "Hey, you guys," and Zell is audible, wondering if Squall and the others already went ahead. Squall approaches some machinery and then, without pushing any buttons, tells our boys he can hear them. Irvine tells Zell he knew they would be all right. He tells Squall to go ahead and operate the arm. Squall's like, "How the fuck do I do that?" And Irvine mentions there should be a small yellow button on his right. Chris, did you push the button?
I did?
Me too. Irvine's like, "Great, thanks."
Actually, in my case, Zell volunteered to press the button.
Nice.
So
press that button, son.
Thanks, bud. He likes
Zell gets impatient. What? Likes to press the button?
No, Zell's the kind of guy who plays arcade games without putting a quarter in.
Oh, okay. Yes.
He just likes the buttons.
Zell gets impatient, saying it's moving slow, and asks Irvine, "What's the rush?" as if this isn't the middle of a jailbreak. Noah's like, "Great, they'll be fine." I run back outside. The catwalk toward this big red thing is wide open. Finally, I can be free. The side of this thing says, Takashin.
Did you get, in the previous scene, real quick, I had Kistis and Irvine that they can continue to bicker with each other.
I think Zell maybe it was unique dialogue bickering, but it was just Zell getting impatient for me.
Oh, okay. In my case, Kistis and Irvine kept bickering, and all of the characters in my party did like I can't believe this shit animation.
Okay.
Like they won't shut up.
It's my fantasy that Irvine, whatever suggestion he has, someone just tells him to shut the fuck up for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like, this is unforgivable right here.
Yeah. Like, there's like he's got the cowboy aesthetic, but the cowboy aesthetic brings no credibility.
Yeah.
Like, because there's no cowboys in Final Fantasy world.
Right.
Because, like,
he's a poser.
You see a guy wearing a real cowboy hat nowadays, usually like that guy knows how to do some shit at least. Like he can fucking farm or he can catch a...
Can escape from a straitjacket. That's the last thing I saw a cowboy do to Ren Fair.
Oh, yeah. Or he could kick somebody's ass or something. Or he can afford expensive boots.
But
something.
You're right. There's no cowboys in this world. This is like you wearing a Gundam uniform to Target.
Yes.
Like, who the fuck are you supposed to be?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's my special day at Target. I can wear whatever I want. My wife's out of town. CG cutscene. The gang rushes down the bridge, but the camera swings around and frames them from behind as they stop to look over the barrier of the Skyway. They're revealed to be in the middle of nowhere, sandwiched between a canyon and an endless desert.
Oh, they're between a plank between one and Perdition?
That's right.
Yeah.
One and Perdition. The respective switches to the ground, which is a successive pull-out shot to showcase the magnitude of this prison.
It's the big shell.
And how it's linked by 3 catwalks bound with 3 pillars. The camera zooms out even more, revealing each pillar is actually a massive drill.
Mm-hmm.
Kistis is like, "Oh shit, dude, what is this place?"
Yeah, we're fucked.
Renoa claims that she came here earlier and wasn't like this, which I can totally see her being oblivious to any of this, or perhaps the drills were buried.
Yes.
Squall's like, okay, whatever. Let's just head for the structure over there, which I guess is just a different post for this drill. What does that solve?
Is Galbadia spending a lot of taxpayer money to make sure prisoners don't escape? Is that the point here? Or is this a show of power or what?
I don't know. Like, remember in Face Off where they were sent to magnet prison in the middle of the ocean?
Yeah.
That's a show of power too, right?
Yeah.
The more fucked your prison, the more demoralizing it's going to be for the prisoner.
Yeah, that's true. And I think we did hear from somebody at some point that they use this for political prisoners as well. So
to quell dissent.
Yeah, probably something so the flowers don't grow.
CG cutscene. Squall is trailing behind the rest of the party. He stops before he makes it to the other pillar. Then the sides of the catwalk loosen and fall off. Squall decides to run the opposite way just as the floor patterns start coming apart.
Yeah.
I don't know, going away?
Yeah.
Back at ground level, the massive drills start to spin, burying the prison in sand. The camera swings up, and Squall is now somehow holding onto the railing and dangling off the side.
It's time to play the action movie.
Renoa tells Squall to both hold on and hurry, which is an upsetting contradiction.
Yes.
You're supposed to hold right while Squall moves on top of the active CG cutscene as the sand forms a sea and twists and swirls beneath the drill.
Yeah.
I was taking notes, and I thought I died.
I did die, because I went left, because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on, really. And I died. I got game over. Just fucking go straight
Back
to
to your
game
save
over.
point.
And it takes a while for the game over screen. It takes about the exact same amount of time that it takes for the next scene to pop up when you do succeed is the exact same amount of time to show game over.
Yeah.
So when I went back and did it again, it kind of lingered on the black screen for a second before the next scene loaded, and I was like, fuck. Because I had to fight that boss thing again. Yeah.
All that shit. While we're here, let's play the game over music you get when you get game over, since Chris experienced our first and only one in this game.
Yes, thanks. No, I also got game over when I fucked up the delay rate, I think.
Well, folks,
somehow.
the fake net didn't play the music, did they?
No, thanks. Thanks, fake net.
Bubba.
It's funny. I was taking notes during this, and then I thought I pressed right too late, and Squall definitely did not make it and definitely fell in the sand, but it was fine.
Yeah, maybe you just have to press right enough.
Yeah, like there's no
Not
animation
left.
for him, cross a certain threshold.
Huh. So when we succeed, we are met with a new song, or not a new song, a song we've heard before, right? Breezy?
Yeah, it's Breezy, and it's the Balam song. We're at the bottom of this thing, complete with a garage and 2 cars. How convenient.
Yeah, some dune buggy looking things, maybe?
Yeah, Renoa's like, shit, man, that was dangerous. And Squall, who should be dead and maybe is dead, maybe Squall is dead, says, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Squall.
Irvine says he thought the arms were moving slow, and it turns out the submerged system was on. Thank you.
Thanks. Definitely submerged.
Before he can tell us what the fuck that means, Squall wisely deploys a let's just get going.
Yeah.
Squall points to the yellow car truck airport plane tug thing and says that's the one she wants to ride. Kistis follows her, then so does Renoa. Looks like our boys are taking the army green Laguna mobile on the right. The 2 cars rock and roll out of this garage.
It's funny, too, that Irvine is very much dismayed by the fact that all the ladies get in the yellow car, and he has to ride with Squall and Zell, which...
he has no objective with Squall and Zell.
Fellas, is it gay to ride in a car with your male coworkers?
I'm a big fan of the fellas is it gay meme.
It is great. It always seems to deliver, and it's never overdone. Okay, I'll read this. This sounds interesting.
Okay.
Maybe, perhaps.
From the Final Fantasy Ultimania book, Chris will read to you.
Yes, Final Fantasy Ultimania Archive Volume 2, Galbadia D District Prison. We can now read all this since all the spoilers are gone, I guess. A prison constructed in the vast desert, used to imprison those who dare criticize the
Sound it out.
despotic?
Fignet, what's that word mean?
DESPOTIC. Despotic.
I think that's maybe of disposed, like when someone's removed.
Despotic.
Initializing fake net.
Hey, I fixed the gibberish problem. I don't need the other one anymore.
Sorry, this episode is mine now. Despotic is the adjective form of the noun despot, which means tyrannical ruler. If you live under despotic rule, you probably have few rights and may fear your government. Use despotic to describe rulers that rely on brute force, or the threat of it rather than the rule of law to keep order.
Okay, let me start all over again. A prison constructed in the vast desert used to imprison those who dare criticize the despotic government of Galbadia. Its drill-like legs dive deep into the sand in order to discourage jailbreaks. So I guess we're right. I'm looking at some concept art of floor 15, which implies they did concept art for every floor, but probably not.
Now we're in Dingo Desert. There's no music, it's just wind.
Yeah, some desert crossroads.
It is desert as hell out here. Cacti, dirt paths, arid climate, howling wind, the set from Hey Dude, it's all here. Selfie gets out and stands on top of the same car she was just driving, only broken down and partially reclaimed by the desert. It's crashed here. We have a little powwow at the crossroads. Kistis is explaining to the gang that the sorceress is about to launch a missile at Garden.
Yeah.
Or maybe someone's telling her this because she seems surprised. I can't read Kistis. Selfie's like, yeah, that's what Renoa heard from Irvine. Squall takes a few steps forward and turns around for a leadership speech.
Yeah, did you also notice, like, when we heard this from Selfie, Zell stomped?
Oh, yeah.
Like, he was upset about this, like, visibly upset.
Classic Zell stomp.
Yes.
Squall says the only thing we can do now is go back to Garden as soon as possible and warn the students. All right, let's get in the car and go. Can we not call them?
The Monotony particles prevent radar technology from broadcasting signals.
Okay. Selfie says that. I totally buy that.
Do we have
that makes
phones?
sense.
Do we have phones?
There's no PHS here, right?
Yeah.
There's I don't know. Selfie says they're also targeting Trebia Garden too. We have to go interfere with that launch. We have to stop the missiles. This is a much better plan than whatever the fuck Squall just submitted.
Yep.
There's an arrow draw point out here. Is this the first time we've seen arrow?
I think so,
Let's
yeah.
hear those hot sounds. That was Arrow. Renoa tells us to go talk to Selfie. Kistis says this isn't just about Selfie. Irvine says, so, like, I understand how Selfie feels, but... And then Zell, my boy, says he'll do whatever Squall decides.
Yeah. He's loyal.
I go get up on that car and I talk to Selfie, Chris. She says she just transferred from Trebia Garden. She can't sit around knowing it's in danger. And she says, so Squall, please understand. Decide who's going to go to the missile base before it's too late. Squall thinks that's easier said than done, and he wonders, what if something happens to the party members I choose?
Nothing's going to happen. This is not Mass Effect 2.
I don't know, man. I mean, Final Fantasy VII killed a main character. I think that's all on the table in the mindset of players at this point.
Yes, that is very true. There's several implications here that you're going to lose party members, but the fact that you can, like, send Renoa here along with the rest...
Put her out of her misery, man.
Makes it feel like there are not going to be any repercussions from this particular thing.
Renoa suggests they take a vote. What? Squall will decide the party, but he'll go back to Balam because he's the leader. Anyone against the plan should raise their right hand. Please call somebody. Please just call someone.
Did anybody actually raise their hand?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
It was a showcase of bravery for all of our heroes. No one raises their hand. Renoa, desperate for inclusion still, is like, put me on either team. I don't give a fuck. Squall thinks, but you're an outsider. Kistis tells Squall he's the leader, which he never asked for, and she tells Squall to pick two teams. Off in the distance, we see 3 missiles fire out of the base.
Yep.
Irvine says he heard they were hitting Trebia first, then Balam. Selfie falls to her knees upon hearing this shit. So, like, time's up for stopping the missiles, right, Chris? Like, they just launched.
We don't know how accurate...
They're not Scuds, dude. This is Galbadia. They're the moneyed military interest of this entire planet.
Yeah, maybe so. When you approach Selfie, she hopes that was a miss. Everyone then starts yelling at Squall to pick who he's gonna take. This is a very important decision. Whoever you bring is gonna die. Whoever Selfie brings to the missile base is gonna die. This game is implying.
Yeah, she leaps off the truck to say this.
Yeah.
Everybody's yelling at Squall and he's just standing there.
Yeah.
Squall thinks he's headed up to here at this leader thing, but he resolves to choose anyway. Who'd you choose for your Balam Garden party, Chris?
Excuse me. For my Balam Garden party, I decided to choose the Balam Garden students.
Party.
Yes. I chose Zell and Kistis.
That's also who I chose, and Chris and I did not coordinate on this.
No, maybe we should have, but I did want to include in the Selfie party the biggest dumbasses I could.
Yeah.
And
see if they could fuck it up?
Yeah, just to see what would happen. So Irvine, Selfie, and Renoa are going to the missile base, which makes me start to wonder that, like, is Zell not a top 3 dumbass?
Right? You've got 2 empty heads and a stone cold killer.
Yeah, so what's going on? Zell's moving up.
You have to put Selfie on the missile base team, by the way.
Right.
As they launch the missiles at her Trebia. Squall says, this mission is unlike any other. It's not an order or a request from anyone. Selfie, do you have some kind of plan? To my surprise, it seems like she does. She says, I think if we take this Galbadian army vehicle, we should be able to make it inside the base.
Yep.
But that's about it. I'll have to think about the rest of it once we're inside. You think that would be okay? I'm sorry. I mean, thanks. There isn't much time. You better hurry. Wait a second. This is not a plan.
No. She doesn't really have any other ideas this time. She said that she'll make it up as she goes along.
We slowly get in the car and leave, everyone walking to their vehicle one by one. Selfie screams at Squall to hurry, and he's just standing there while I'm typing this. It cuts to Squall's car, which is the Galbadian car the other team was supposed to take. What the fuck? coming to a hilarious stop at a Western-style dusty-as-hell train station. There's a windmill and a barn here. Squall is like, we should take this train. How do I walk to the train station? Oh, you got to go left around those barriers that are there for no reason. Okay. And this is like serious Western town.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be a thing to this.
Yeah.
But I thought that more than just this cutscene. I thought that
this is where like everyone here would be dressed like Irvine because we're in the desert.
Yeah, and we would have to, there'd be a shop and some people to talk to and, maybe some battles with these soldiers, but no.
It cuts to a long, wide shot of two halves of train cars. A blue Galbadian soldier runs off as we approach. The sky is clear and blue, providing a nice contrast to this dusty-ass desert. We then board the train by the engine, which is weird, but then it's clear that we're stealing the train. The blue Galbadian soldier realizes this, then tries to run after it, screaming at us to stop.
Yeah.
Kisses kind of laughs at him and tells him to give up. It cuts to the world map as Blue Fields plays, and we're now Selfie, driving the car. She screams to the missile base.
Cool.
And that's where we'll go in episode...
The next one, 19.
That's where we'll go in episode 1919.
My favorite part about that is that the Galbadian soldier tries to run.
Yeah, he tries to
like
run
a
to the
fucking
train.
Cartoon. Bugs Bunny tries to keep with the train.
It is funny that we decided to steal the train and not take the train.
Yeah, ride the train. Stow away on the train.
And it's worth mentioning... I wonder if they had like content for that. They're like, nah, fuck it, let them steal it. It's worth mentioning we can never go back to this location. Like the prison, this is a one and done shot.
Yeah.
For all this stuff here.
Feels a little bit like there's some stuff missing from right here. Actually, that's fine. Like the only stuff that we see that I'm sad is gone is usually like the Laguna stuff.
I can picture the budget guy going, let's see, we can either have them repeat the same floors of this dungeon, or we can do the much more expensive train station heist. Let's just repeat the dungeon.
Yeah, well, they should just make us do the train sequence again.
Yeah, the exact same train sequence.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trained in that, right?
Trained in it?
Yeah. Yeah. This episode was a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on July 13th, 2021. Thanks, Mark
Shepard,
for the music.
Wait, you say Mark says thank you?
Find us on Twitter at RetroAmnesiaPod. And if you like us, please consider supporting us on Patreon at patreon.com/RetroAM. Get early access, bonus episodes, miniseries, voting rights, stereo mix, and access to the RealNet on Discord. Email us at podcast@retrogradeamnesia.com. Until next time, Eric.
Yes, we will kill God.
Game over. And now you may go back to sleep. Apple Podcast had a issue through, I think, most of June and July where certain things weren't registering as downloads unless your podcast was listened to. So if somebody downloaded the file but didn't listen to it yet, then your podcast host may not have detected a request for the file. And so a lot like podcast numbers were down across the board. Well, not across the board, but podcast numbers were down, especially for podcasts who have large audiences on Apple Podcasts. For us, it's like 50%, I think. But our numbers didn't go down, so I'm assuming that means people are listening to our podcast and not just downloading
their phone.
Yeah, and like listening to it all the way through. So that's nice to know. Also, I'm sure you saw that I posted it, but we hit 100,000 yesterday.
Yeah, I saw that. That's terrifying to think of.
Yeah.
The next disgusting conversation requires some context, which is the boys all ate some outrageously decorated cake at a children's birthday party the previous day.
Jason texted me and he's been shitting light green. I shit dark violet today. I told him I'd check with you to see what was up with your poop.
My poop is approximately the color of like summer grass.
Okay.
Like the thick summer grass, you know, like
grass,
dark green.
Let me text him that right now. You can use that as my little sound test there. Jason theorizes the icing was made from 100% pure blue dye #1 concentrate, which I don't know why he knows about that. Maybe he's dyed products.
Maybe he knows about things. He knows science. Composed of 3 towers, usually buries itself under the sands in order to avoid attacks from the outside or prevent prisoners from escaping. The bottom parts of the towers are drills for submerging. It's pretty much the same thing I just read. Never mind, cut that shit.
Fuck it.
And fuck it. That's it. Okay. I meant to look that up earlier and I didn't. I should have chose to die.